hot to handle.
How are we, people? Back here at CK again on this balmy humid day. This week and part of last week I've sort of handballed the GT off to someone else, the new boy, Gary. He's not happy, but we'll get it there. But anyway, I've been put onto the VH, the rework car, the car that came from another shop that the owner wasn't happy about. So I've started with the guards. I got the guards. It was all in this black stuff. This black stuff's no good, it has to come off. So if you come with me, Raf, I've done these guards last week, so I've cleaned them in and out. This had a few issues down here with the rust patches that were there. So I had to redo the rust patches and then file them up. So they've come out pretty nice now. Same with the other guards, same sort of thing. So everywhere they welded, I go underneath with a torch and I inspect it. If I see light come through, there's pinholes. You can't have pinholes. It's not strong, it's not right, and it's dodgy. So I went around, I've re-welded. When you weld, you get distortion. So I've gone along and I've dolly and hammered it and filed it. So they've come up nice, they're in epoxy. Now this week I've been on the doors, amongst other things. So this week I hammered the two front doors first. This one wasn't that bad. We had a few issues on the inside. And yet again, like I said to Raf, I'm gonna drop some photos to Raf. He'll pick out all the good ones and show you guys what I've been doing. But they had done a rust patch there, hence I didn't do the patch. It's a bit dodgy, but I've just gone along and made sure there's no holes and redone it. I didn't remake the patch, so that's there. There was a little bit of dodgy shit going up here, so I sorted that out. Now this front door was a little bit worse. This one here was all dented and smacked in here, and being double panel, it was hard to get the dent puller in there and pull it out. Being double panel, I didn't want to weld to it, so all I did, I cut it out, I put a new piece in. And then here, this edge was crumpled in that way, right? So here, it went in like that. So I unfolded the skin all the way from here to here. I've straightened it back out to get that shape there, and then folded it back in. I had to do some welding across there because the skin did split. Because it's been out, then come back in, it did split. So I did a little bit of welding there just to get it nice. And then there was a big dent here. So while I had the skin out, I've got a spoon and a couple of things inside, pushed the dent out, the major part of it. Then I've folded the skin back over and I've used the dent puller just to pull out the lows. So I've got that really nice. When you put a ruler on there, you see a little bit of daylight there. Up here is really nice. They had some dents up here I fixed while I was there. This here, I think had been broken into. So they'd welded it there. They'd grinded it this side and grinded it the other side, and there was holes everywhere. So I spent quite a bit of time because I didn't want to cut it and put a patch in there. So I've re-welded where they welded, but I had to take my time because of distortion. I got it there, yet again. There's less than a millimetre in that. And there was a bit of damage across there, we sorted out. Yet again, all this black stuff's got to come out. I'm just doing the fab, getting the rust stuff out, doing the major lows. And once I've got all 4 doors done, then I'll start attacking, getting all this black stuff, because I want to get the black stuff off. The same day I get the black stuff off, I want to get it in epoxy so we don't have any flash rust. So the 2 front doors are done. Now, the back door, this was pretty bad. come over, we'll have a look. As you can see, a lot of bare metal around here. All right. So what had happened was, when I first turned the door over like this, I was looking, just touching, looking, and here you could feel it was real. There was spot welds here and there. In between the spot welds, it was really raised. And to me, that's rust, because rust expands. So it's just going to push the metal up. And because it's rusting it's not rusting on top, it's rusting underneath. It looks good here, even if you take the paint off, it still looks good, but it's like that. And I had it all marked out. Chris came in and he goes, "Oh, what are you doing there? There's nothing wrong with it." I said, "There's rust there." And he's like, "No, there's not." So I said, "All right, I'll show you." So I got a chisel and just went bang. I put a little slit in it and all the rust dust just come out. So like, "Chris, all right, do what you have to do, do what you have to do." So I did that. And here, I come along here. Why did I take this off? Why? That's right, and you'll see it in the photos. When it was in this black stuff, I think these got blasted. So even if you dip, no dip will go between these pinch welds. It will a little bit, but not a lot. So I could see where the skin was. Here, there was what I call little spider veins going out all the way around, right? So I thought, I can't leave it. This bloke's already brought it to a shop, spent so much money there and it's not up to scratch. So I thought, all right, as long as I take photos so the customer, he knows what I'm doing, he's happy with that. So what I did, I drilled out the spot welds straight away. As soon as I put a drill and it went through the first layer, it spits the brown dust out. So I knew I was on the right track. So I basically de-skinned it. I pulled the skin up all the way around to here, right? And like I said, I'll drop some photos to Raf, he can put them up, and you'll see it was all rusty all the way around there. So I've pulled it up, I've pulled the door skin back, wedged some wedges in there. Now there was rust on the door skin here, rust there, and rust on the actual shell. So I've cleaned it all up, and this spray stuff, this orange goldy stuff, that's the weld through primer. So I was cleaned it all, make sure it's shiny metal, no brown stuff there. Then I've painted all that stuff and refolded it and re-welded where the spot welds were. I've plug welded them, so they're all back there. This one here I made out of patch. I put the little circle back where the door trim goes in, that's there, and then re-welded that back in there. Yet again, you'll see through the photos how much rust was in there. Now what I'm doing is, because if you know, when you weld, you get distortion. Like I was just explaining to Raf. I'll get my trusty ruler. This here, right here, where you see these little round bits, burnt bits, there was a big peak there. I was explaining to Raf what the dent puller does and how we get rid of it. He said, "What, you just hammer it down?" But the trouble is, when it's distortion, it puckers up like that. If you just tap it down, it's going to go like that. Now if it stays up a little bit, but then you can hit the panel here and it'll spring back out again. It's called oil canning. In other words, when it's stretched, it peaks. If you just knock it back, it's still got that extra metal. You're just pushing it out like that. So I use this little trusty machine here. It's the dent puller. We use this where you can't get to with a hammer and dolly, right? So I use this, and it's got a shrinking mechanism on there, so I put it to shrink. And I basically, where you see these 4 little dots, I put it there and just touch the trigger a little bit. And Raf saw it, he goes, yeah, you can see it actually goes down. So instead of just bashing that down like that, I basically shrink it, which brings the metal back like that. So we'll go a little bit deeper, but I can bring it back up and move it. It's not going to oil can and have any problems later. So that's a little thing. So that's what I've been doing. Since I reopened the door skin around there, I'm going around with my file. You file it, you pick out all the little lows. Like if you bring the camera in here, Raf, you can see where the file goes. It's shiny metal, so it's touching there. It's still a bit high there, but then it's still low in there, because the file's not touching there, but not there. So I'll slowly bring it out. And that's basically what you do. just to get rid of the distortion, and therefore you're not just bogging it. You're not just slamming bogging it, so it's full of bog. Or you come across a high and you smack it down and then bog it. It's rough. An extra hour, 2 hours, we then pull it and file it, therefore you never have any problems down the track. So that's where we're at this week. That's a wrap for me this week.
Hey everyone, it's JB again. Nothing really new's been going on with me, just still keeping up with the MGs, stripping, prepping, painting and refitting them, just trying to keep on top of them because yeah, they're really damaging them pretty good and they're needing a lot of repair work. So yeah, just been busy with them. That's about it.
This week, onto another VL, another white one. Just getting all the hanging panels done, so been hammer and tongs, priming and blocking and everything like that. So got all the panels painted at the moment. That's all done. Just got the body to do next. So that will be this afternoon and tomorrow, blocking all that. So I'll block that down with 240 on the block. Then 500 orbital sand it with the interface pad, and then after that blow it all off and wet rub it with 800. Then prep sol it, check it all, and yeah, start masking up, ready to hit it. So it'll be another one on the street. So finally got the HZ ute done. That was a long process. Yeah, so that's all finalised. So the boys have got to get the fun task of putting it back together now. My job's done on it, thank God. So yeah, moving on to the next projects. So yeah.
Rightio, we've got this lovely XY, plenty of rust holes, all that sort of thing. So I've had to make sure my tetanus is up. Had the injection. Right, had to manufacture this section here. I took the old one off. Actually, what I'll do is I'll go and get the old ones. I'll show you what I had to deal with. These are part of all the sections that have come out of this. There was this piece. It was in here that someone had welded a piece over the top and tacked it to everything and yeah, made a bit of a mess of. So made that all the way down to there. This is the strengthening bracket that was in there. Obviously you can see that it had plenty of rust in behind there, cleaned up everything behind that was attached to. That was pretty good. This bracket, no good, so made a new bracket. That's all welded in. There was a section that's underneath here as well. It runs down from the pillar. There's a hole in the top of that as well, so I've made another section to go in there. That goes on top. There's the three panels all there with the actual corner piece that it spot welds to. Now, what was this piece? Oh, that's right, this piece. It's got the big bracket that goes off the top here. Oop, wrong way around. That was a section off of there. That was just snot. So out with the old and in with the new. Welded that, cleaned up everything behind here and all that sort of thing. Got a little bit more cleaning to do, but we got rid of that. This section here, obviously that's what was there. Cut that out, replace. Can't buy this sort of stuff, so you have to make it. Yeah, so that's what I'm currently doing this section here. That's given me a bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, we're getting to this, and hopefully by tomorrow we'll have all this back welded together and then she'll be back together. Then next step will be, I've got to unpick all this. Obviously the lowers here, someone's been in there, this had caked full of bog. Usual thing with all these old cars, they just need a little bit of love. I'll probably have to make a section to go in the bottom of this. I'll take it apart and see, check. We've got a sill panel sitting over there on the trestle. Whole section, that'll be going from front to back. So hopefully I don't find too many surprises inside. Then once that's sort of half under control, as you can see with this one here, this quarter panel's had a little bit of love back in the day. You know, they've done the old well, done the old welded over the top trick and all that sort of thing. Yeah, so we'll get rid of that. We've got another quarter panel to go on, probably be joined through similar to the other side. It also joins in through here. I'll have to have a look and just check out the tail light panel and all that and just see how that is. Got bonnet, boot. They're pretty ugly as well, but we'll get them sorted. But yeah, apart from that, happy days.
Boys have been busy again, like usual, getting it all done. So down at CK, the boys are on the VH down there. Gary's on the XY. Chris is on the VL Calais Turbo, and JB's doing the usual MG stuff. So down here we've been all hammer and tong, getting some stuff done. We got another guy to the team down here. His name is Chris as well. Must be, I don't know what it is with Chris and painters, but there's now 3 of us. So when we say Chris, you guys can work out who we're talking about. Chris has been super busy the last couple of weeks. He's been on board with us now full time. So yeah, just smashing it out and getting all the little jobs done and some of the bigger jobs. So I'll hand you over to Chris, and Chris will give you a bit of a chat and tell you what he's been up to.
Yeah, name's Chris. Got another Chris. Yeah, basically I've been here for a couple of weeks now. Good boys, great to work for. And yeah, bits and pieces, keeping it flowing. And yeah.
So yeah, me and Chris used to work with each other in this shop. We took over the shop from Chris. So he's the landlord, but yeah, he used to operate the shop before us. So yeah, no, he's very familiar with obviously the environment here in the workspace. So no, it's good to have him on board. Take you for a bit of a walk around. We'll show you what we've been up to and what we've been doing. So let's get it. So we've got the S15 here, which we done a full respray on. The car is finished off in 3000, ready to have a multi-stage correction done. And then we can start fitting that back up. On the road, we have a VZ Calais, which we've gotten from Precision Pro Protection. So they have sent this one down. We're doing front and rear bars on it, and then they're going to do ceramic coating and some exhaust stuff on that. We've got an E-Class here, which is the 3-layer PEL, which we repaired and painted the front bar on. So that's finished, and I'll show you my new car actually, my new daily. So pretty cool little thing. So most of you guys might know this car from Dose Coffee Shop, Marion Road, Homemaker Centre. Dimmy used to own it, and yeah, I had the pleasure of buying it. So he's offered it to me, pulled his arm and twisted his leg a bit, and yeah, now it's mine. So this is a new workhorse, just cruise it around, and yeah, just probably put a 13B or something like that in an NA. It's got 150,000 Ks on it, and it's like in brand new condition. So I don't have the keys on me, but if you have a look in there, Rafi. So yeah, that's like brand new. It's got a little bit of rust in the tray, which is patina. I like that, but yeah, cool. It bounces a lot and it's fun to drive. Anyways, it's enough of that. Got a VY SSU in here. It's done like 80,000 Ks or something like that. Rather odd. So painting the hard lid, the railings around, right-hand quarter panel front bar, and the back beaver panel there. We've done a repair on, so we've just been colour matching that. It's been a bit of a nightmare to get the colour right. So that's 100% now. Pretty happy with that. So that'll get painted next week. We got the 35 GDR. You would have seen that we done a couple of weeks ago. I got a phone call on Saturday, and the phone call was this saddening news here. So he's had a 3-car pile up, and he's gone up the back of another 2 cars. So that's another Shannon's insurance repair job there. So yeah, we're just in the middle of quoting it, getting some prices for parts, and can tell you what, it's not cheap. So that will get done in the next few weeks once we get authority from that. We've got an Outlander here, which is an insurance job, and then we've got the VH as well, which is all ready for paint. So I've just finished pressure washing that. So I've done all the door jams, I've done everything. As I touched base on a few weeks ago, this car was meant to be a spot prime and paint, nothing over the top. I ended up priming the whole side, blocking it all down. I left the bottoms, and I've just primed what I need to prime. I've got a couple of spots where I've got a spot prime along the bottom still, but this will get painted tomorrow. We sat down with a customer last night, went through the colour. He was happy with the colour, and now they've changed their mind. They want to smooth the bay off. So we're going to get the outside painted, and then we'll worry about the bay later. I like to do the bays last thing, because once the car's painted, then you do the bay. If you get a little bit of overspray from the engine bay on the outside, it's easy to polish. Whether it's vice versa, if you paint the bay first, then do the outside, then you overspray in the bay, it's a cunt to polish, and it's hard to get into spots. So doesn't matter how much you mask up, you still get a little bit of overspray sometimes coming from underneath. So that's just a hot tip there for you guys. at home. I'd rather do the outside first. The outside's going to get a colour sand anyways, so we're going to polish it. So if there's any little bit of overspray or light mist, it's going to get fixed, and it's easy for this flat panel. So I've degreased the bay off anyway, so we're going to remove the battery tray, take the dent out of here, or weld up all these holes, make that nice and straight so both contours on both sides are the same and they're both uniform, and then seal it all up, and yeah, it'll look good. So that's that. Yeah. So what else we got? Got a little Outlander here, or what is it? Outback, sorry. Outback, which is another little touch-up job. So whatever. Got a Camry in there, which came in for some touch-ups. We've got a Trident here, which is RAA insurance repair job. We've just done a quarter panel and the back cab tray on that, a front bar and now bonnet. So our ute as well, we got carried away, me and Yanni, last weekend, and we pulled that apart, and that's now in primer. So we're doing a full respray on the ute, closed door, and I don't know, wherever it takes us. It could take us into a new motor package, or it could take us into a new car. So we're not too sure yet, but that's happening there. And I'll hand you over to Yanni, and he will finish off the video.
Chris has really covered all bases here, so I'll just stand here and look pretty hot. Is that nice?
Good.
And that's a wrap. As you can tell, we're probably a little bit flat this week. It's been fucking busy and it's really hot here. So we've just been going hard, man. So we don't have much left in the tank. We definitely need them waiting for the weekend to come. So next week's a big week for me. My wife's having our third child. So number 3, all boys. So that's happening next Friday. So we got something to look forward to. So a little bit of time off with the family and the kids and stuff. So if you don't see me in the next fortnight, you'll see the boys. But yeah, another week, another day, another dollar. We'll see you next fortnight.